Click the links, join channel here or the various other links. So Aquaman tackles Chinese pollution. LOL. No, it's just going to be more blonde people. Bad. So the Fishman movie with the big-titted pooping girl, Amber Heard, director has some honest comments about Warner Brothers. He very carefully says DC is in transition. A house is getting renovated. Yeah, it's okay. That's fair enough. I mean, that's a little bit more honesty than I mean that you can read a lot. That's going to do a lot of heavy lifting. There's a lot in. What does that really mean? Let's explore that. Well, let's not. Um, yeah, DC is in transition. Does it? Are they transitioning from when they used to make movies, fun movies that people kind of watched? Thing is, they've made hit or miss movies for a while, but they're looking back at the movies that still made a profit, but perhaps didn't make it as much a profit as they thought they should have made. Probably pretty wistfully to looking at the future for Warner Brothers looks a little rough. So as DC adjusts the sails and sets the compass in a new direction, unfortunately, every time they adjust course, they find woke dead ahead. I just try to imagine what the future holds. What's it the boat sailing between the rocks and the mermaids? It's Merman. Yeah, that's what the future holds, if I can say that is very clear. In fact, what's the movie? One Piece. Yeah, they actually already have that in. I mean, that's a future Hollywood, friends. Get ready for that. So it's more like they're painting the sails a different color and changing the crew, and they're expecting a different outcome. It's like, but you haven't actually changed the compass heading. You haven't changed course. You're still headed for the rocks. Oh, it's gonna be different this time, but you're literally headed for the rocks. Yeah, don't worry about it, bigot. So they're sailing through these soy-filled woke waters of diversity, heavy-handed cringe, just lecturing us, the worst people on earth, lecturing us. I'm tired of being lectured to by Epstein Island degenerates. What happened to that list? They should make a movie about that. It's weird how they're kind of a little bit light on movies coming out about the island horrors. It's like, who will star in it? Most of Hollywood can star in that movie. So they want a bit of an escapist film, not a lecture on how much the movie company hates blonde-haired, blue-eyed, Aryan Central casting, stereotypical type of people. Can we get 2 hours of big milkered hot tuna and some CGI with fish-related one-liners to lighten things up a little bit? No, Hugo Boss. We're going to race swap the actors, dial down the milkers to non-threatening B cups, and lecture the evil blonde people on how blue-eyed people are polluting the world with their farms and industry. Did you mean black-haired, black-eyed Chinese, Indians, and Africans? Because it's not the blue-eyed Nordic tribe run in China, except China is a massive market that will shut her doors to the movie and Warner Brothers in general. So no, you're not going to see a movie about China polluting the world. You'd have to see that the real evil is some blonde farmer in Sweden, and its population, what, 150 million people or something. And the entire DC universe needs to destroy the farms all across Europe, delete all the blonde people, and replace them with high birth rate, non-blue-eyed people. But how do you feed them? We're gonna buy food from Russia. But with what currency if your country doesn't actually produce anything but Starbucks workers? That's a closed system. You actually have to make something. You have to mine something or produce something. It's like some kind of new economic system. Yeah, it leads to it's a great diet plan. Listen, Hugo Boss, we had Wonder Woman destroy Europe to save it. If you question that, you're a bigot. Yeah, I think I'm okay with that at this point. So Jason Momoa would have to sodomize Amber Heard and fist Gal Gadot like a puppet to get anyone to watch this movie. It feels to me that this Aquaman is kind of a tipping point. So was kind of the next Star Wars movie. At first they said it was going to be who's that chick, that English girl, Daisy Ridley was going to do some kind of movie, and now they're saying who's that black guy, Finn? He's an idiot too. He's a complete idiot. They're saying that the Disney streaming movie was going to come out. And they go, no, we're going to make it a big screen. I'm like, hey, oh, Lando, right? With the Finn character. No, it's not Finn. It's who's that other guy? Dong Lover. Dong Lover's the Lando guy, I think. So yeah. They're going to do a Dong Lover movie. Did you just confuse two POCs? Yes, but to be fair, it's like Chris Evans, Chris Pratt, and there's that, and the guy plays there's like the guy who plays the Guardians of the Galaxy guy who plays Thor, and the guy who plays Captain America. It's like aren't those like you can confuse those three blonde dudes also. Um, I don't know where I was going with that. So it feels to me like this is kind of a tipping point. It's just kind of the start of the decline for it's the next Star Wars movie, right? Is it Daisy Ridley? It's like, yeah, I think you would have had a fan base with Daisy Ridley, but no, they're using that Lando Calrissian movie. It's like, so wait a minute, let me get this right. Solo with I forget it, the little midget guys who played Solo. That movie actually lost money, and that was like a $300 million Disney movie. And you lost hundreds of millions of dollars on it. That was the first Star Wars thing that lost money. So you're going to follow that up with an even less, a more ancillary of an ancillary character. Yeah, Lando. Yeah, we're going to follow that movie up with a. So is it, why? I was gonna say, is it she's going to be a low budget movie, like $100 million movie? How is Dong Lover going to pack the seats? It's going to be like the Wakanda audience. No, that was a whole different psychology that was invested in the vibe around Black Panther. This is like in the choice between Dong Lover and Daisy Ridley. I look at that and like those aren't two strong candidates, but I'd have to go with Daisy Ridley because she actually has a bigger movie going fan base, and so does like Brie Larson. Brie Larson, believe it or not, actually has a fan base. This is why that next the Captain Marvel's movie is the Marvels. I don't think that's going to bomb, and I know everyone's kind of expecting it to. There's a whole collection of teenage girls and cat ladies who are really into Brie Larson, but I don't see Dong Lover. Pando soy child Dong Lover packing the theater for to go see a Han Solo movie maybe, but you'd have to get a Han Solo actor. Harrison Ford's lightning in a bottle, and you thought you were going to replace that? Oh God, I mean, you get your work cut out for. Harrison Ford was tall; he was over 6 feet. And the midgets you got to replace him, Eisman or Eichenwald or something, the guy's 5'8". I looked it up because I thought something's odd about this movie with the Dong Lover and Eichenwald or Eisenberger. The two guys were like eyeball to eyeball with the chicks. They're young, so this is what Hollywood does to portray young people. They use shorter actors who are like men who are like 5'8", Hobbit-sized dudes. Sorry, no offense, Hobbits. But they just don't have the presence, especially when you're trying to replace an actor who was 6'2". It's like that's a whole different. His framing and blocking in the sets and his presence in the sets was like that's a 4-inch difference. And even the original guy who was the other black guy who was I forget the dude's name. That guy he went on. He was actually in one of the Star Wars movies. That guy had a lot of personality too. So you got these two actors, Han Solo and Lando Calrissian, in the 70s, 80s movies, that was also lightning in a bottle. Replacing that, you're going to have to do better than Eisen and Dong Lover. And it's like, well, we can't do better than these guys. So this guy made a rap music video. Yeah, so it's a video that's free to watch, and he's got a Twitter personality. It's like, that's not the same level of energy that the original guy. Everything in Hollywood just fucking sucks. And the people they're replacing these people with are just these soy boy, hairless twink types who just don't have the same kind of vibe. No, we're going for like the sparkling vampire thing. I know you are, but you're not selling to a female audience. It's like everything they do is just bizarre logic. They're like trying to cross audiences, but again, let me remind you, Solo bombed, and now you're coming out with this next Star Wars movie. I suspect it's going to bomb also. Anyway, so this is the next Star Wars movie. I think is going to be like the tipping point, the start of the decline, or at least like just making it obvious that Star Wars needs to change course. And Disney Marvel already hit that point. They had a long hit string of movies that have missed their performance numbers, but they're to the point of where the brand is actually damaged. Disney's become a company known for the Florida stuff, DeSantis stuff, woke SJW, anti-family, anti-white type of films that half the time the movies come out they lose money. So Star Wars is going to cross that line with the next film. DC will probably cross it with this Aquaman film. If you want me to see and review a film, just cash out the ticket price. I will walk down to the theater and see it that day and make a video of it. I refuse to pay Hollywood, but if someone else wants to pay Hollywood, it's fine. So when I say Hollywood is over, that's not a one-liner statement. I mean, the movies will be more woke and preachy blonde man bad themes that will attract fewer audiences. Eventually, people will. Let's get to some of the comments. Oh, hey, who's that Bianca comment? Pirates Life for Fish movie. It's just going to be preachy wokeness. The audience is going to shrink. People are going to understand that Hollywood has this weird anti-European agenda, and the movies just aren't fun anymore. Theaters around me are like 15 to 20 bucks or something like that. I can't think of a movie that is worth that. Even the sort of okay films, Deadpool, and like how many years ago did that Deadpool come out? That was okay. It wasn't good because to be good is pretty much impossible in this woke climate of pussy soy boys who are offended when they're not blowing their wives' boyfriends. It's hard for people to really accept that Hollywood is not the same fun, stupid fluff you had as a kid. If you remember films from the, I don't know, 70s and 80s, did it kind of peak then? I think, yeah, it was like a 20-year peak. It seems to have started this steep decline in the 90s, and now it's just all anal scissoring. Hey, the race swapped mixed couple with adopted kids are going to lecture the evil blonde people on how horrible they are. Yeah, let's talk about Asian privilege. No, wait, that's not. The funny thing about the Asian privilege thing is that's actually coming up on the horizon. I know. I don't have any Asians listening to this channel, but I promise you, a few months away, it's going to be mainstream. But I can already see it creeping up on Twitter. So anyway, people are really mad at the Asians for being victims of crime. Like, yeah, that's an interesting take. Hey, let's go with Asian privilege. Let's see how that will. Keep voting left, Asians. The LA and San Francisco just keep voting for more of the same. It's like, how's Oakland working out for Asians? Like, that's not that well. Have you considered concealed carrying? Oh, you can't in California. Most counties in California, you can't. It's like, dear Asians, if you're in Oakland, you own a little restaurant, you're gonna have to explore. Because let me tell you, even like something small. Oh, I probably don't want to talk about this on YouTube, so let me just skip that. Always obey the law unless they're tyrannical laws, then I immediately disobey them. I wish I could edit these fucking videos. Anyway, so yeah, Hollywood had a 100-year run, but it's over. And the last great film was the Lord of the Rings trilogy. When did that come out? 2000-ish. And they were excellent films. Yep, I've seen the films, the extended editions. Some of them they changed the intro scene, so they're kind of having fun messing with the films a little bit. But those are just the last great films that stood on their own. It's like 10 hours of films. But the Frankfurt School window shifting was so far into bullshit cringe that they couldn't even make The Hobbit without just sodomizing it to death. Oh, hey, what's this? A little hobbit village, a collection of tribes, but they're all roughly connected. Oh, Afro hobbits. What the F is this cultural Bolshevism in my fantasy? The Hobbit was only a few years after the Lord of the Rings movie, and they still had to diversify it. Except that diversity sucks, and I just wish more people would say that. Like, say it as if you're not aware of the problematic cultural connections of it. You have to say it like kind of a wide-eyed, naive um, statement like, oh god, diversity sucks. I'm so tired of diversity. I have PTSD from non-blonde hair, blue-eyed people. I just, maybe that's a little heavy-handed, but just say it like, diversity sucks. I don't want to see that in movies anymore. I want to see tribalism. Yikes, my guy. Bad take, friendo. Yeah, just yikes. And then they ad hominem, but then you can point out the ad hominem and go, yeah, but those are my personal preferences. That's my belief system. That's how I'm speaking truth to power. I'm just really tired of diversity. I just think it's cringe and kind of G word for lighthearted. And, it depends on your audience. Depends where you can kind of say this stuff. You get what I'm saying? Like, more people just need to say, I'm not really into woke lecturing from the Epstein's Island crowd of Hollywood pushing diversity for us. And I'd like to see some tribalism in films. Just say it more often. What's the worst that can happen? It's like more people start saying. I mean, the ultimate voting is with your pocketbook and just not going to the theaters and like. But if you start talking about it, at least on social media, kind of get that stuff out there, more and more people can talk about this and kind of look at Hollywood and go like, why is Hollywood going in this direction that is not taking the audience along with them? It's like, well, because a lot of it is State Street, Vanguard, and BlackRock is literally subsidizing them to push propaganda. So anyway, the Hollywood lecturing us sucks. I mean, these are the people that applauded Weinstein for like 30 years. Why would I care what or Roman Polanski or Woody Allen? Why would I care what Hollywood thinks? They're just the biggest. I mean, they're the degeneracy of them. They're so far removed from normal people that, I mean, it's gotten to a point where, like, eventually people are going to look at Hollywood and kind of go, Yeah, it does kind of feel like it's over. They're just not going to go back to making the fun, stupid '80s movies, the Goonies type of, Gremlins type of just stupid Airplane. Obviously I could go through a list like, yeah, all those movies are problematic now. Yeah, but even saying the word problematic is kind of I'll say soy for the sake of the Google filters. See, I mean, they even took our words away from us because kind of the language I'd be using if I wasn't, if I could say that those kind of words. Unfortunately, I'm stuck with soy. Um, yeah, you're all Hugo Boss for liking, '80s movies. Like, what about the people who made them? Were they Hugo Boss too? No, no, no. It's just you who want to go back to them. I'm not really into this bullshit propaganda though. I'm somewhat familiar with the history of the bullshits, so I'm not interested in seeing Holly. Yikes, my guy. That's a vaguely istophobic statement. I know. Anyway, the thing is, you don't have to pay for Hollywood because if you subsidize something, you'll get more of something. The thing is, even if you stop paying for Hollywood, I suspect that your mutual funds and whoever the BlackRock is going to still pay for Hollywood one way or the other. Like you're paying. Oh, how many people want to fund Ukraine? Almost nobody. Oh, should we increase the funding? That's what's going to happen no matter what. I don't see a vote. Vote harder, guys. Vote harder. Hey, at least with this, you can vote with your pocketbook. And for the other stuff, I suspect you're going to be voting with what was that Corrosion of Conformity song? Was it Corrosion of Conformity? Was that Zach? No, Zach Wild was Black Label Society. Both great bands. I don't know who played in Corrosion of Conformity. My God, great. I'm gonna have to get that old VPN fired up and go find some Corrosion Conformity, Black Label Society. Zach Wild, the guy who's played for, I guess, Ozzy Osbourne for a little while. Great. God, COC had what was it, Healing My Wounds or something? What a great riff they had. It was like 20 years ago. I remember I used to go jogging through the hills all the time listening to these bands on my little 100 gigabyte MP3 player or whatever the hell it was back. No, back then I guess it would have been like 2 gigabytes. God, good times, good times. Thing is, you don't have to pay for Hollywood. You know what I'm saying there, friends. It's just Hollywood's actually on strike now. You're like, really? Yeah, they've been on strike for a few months now. It's just nobody cares. You look at the soy boys on Hollywood, like, hey, please strike longer, please. By all means, continue striking. Oh no, you're not going to make anti-white propaganda. Yeah, listen, bigot. If you don't hate yourself, you're a bigot. Well, sign me up. Sign me up for the. Hey, welcome to Eric July. Apparently, Eric July and Chuck Dixon have joined the Hugo Boss army. So Eric gets his Hugo costume, his Mauser, and his Luger, and teach him the Roman saluting. The kids on Twitter are losing their mind over Eric July, who's a guy who makes comic books, and Chuck Dixon, who was a freaking awesome writer. I love Chuck Dixon. I have some of his stuff that you guys sent me. Thank you very much for that. And they're mad because now Eric July has joined the alt right. What the fuck what's wrong with these people? It's like, these are just people making comics, you losers. God, dude, just not everything is. Oh no. We need to take these teenagers very seriously. What period of history they're just like Mao's children? Yeah, you starved like 50 million people to death. Okay, but they were records of progress. Okay, you got us there, but they were. I literally had a conversation with this chick on Instagram like 5 or 6 years ago, and I screen capped it because it was so ridiculous, and I'm glad I did because she later deleted it, where she was a Chinese girl who was talking about, yes, they did delete like 70 million people in China, but they were people who had to go for a more perfect society, and I screen capped because it was so insane, and it's like, that's literally how they think. They have to. There's people. I guess I'm off track here, but like it's 18 minutes. Who makes it to the end of the video? The thing is, if you let the video run, it's that ad revenue. So it's like, that's $1.56 per video. Yeah, I don't care about YouTube. I can't believe I'm still on YouTube, honestly. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe, check me out on Subscribestar and Odyssey, and BitChute is where kind of the other stuff is going on. YouTube is just, God, it's just so dumb. It's just like, this is YouTube. It's people talking about this kind of stupid stuff. Aquaman 2. Was this Aquaman 2? So is there going to be an Aquaman 3? I kind of doubt. I don't even know where DC is, what DC is doing. I mean, because they just don't make good movies. It's like touch grass. You're just, no, it's not even getting excited about it because they stopped making good, because the Suicide Squad Part 1, really not a good movie. And then they followed it up with a movie that was just as bad, but just as bad in a different way. And then a bunch of other movies from DC or Warner Bros. Or whatever. It's like, yeah, none of these movies are anything to write home about. They're not worth seeing in the theaters, and they're not worth paying Warner Brothers to subscribe to, or HBO and Disney Plus to subscribe to them. If you want to go sail the high seas, maybe they're worth watching. Even that, it's like, oh, hey, I bought you a ticket to go see this movie. It's like, yeah, I mean, you kind of wasted your $17 because it just, yeah, it's a movie. It was CGI on the screen. There's, like, are there, listen, these kind of movies, the transformification movies where Heather, no, who's that? The big titty girl, who was jogging Fox something. She's jogging through the CGI screen of the desert, and there's Transformers blown from the background. Megan Fox, I think, and her sweater puppies are just bouncing around, kind of reminiscent of Leia in 77 Star Wars. That's the best you can hope for these movies, is get hot chicks and fun one-liners and CGI. It's like, no, we're trying to take ourselves seriously, and we're just not going to do that these days. It's like, so how the movies doing? Oh, we're losing money hand over fist. Yeah, and yet you still keep making these movies. Weird. It's like it's a religion of cultural Bolshevism, I'll say, to avoid the Marxism algorithmic filter. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys. Are this real? I don't know if those are just pushed up or if I don't even care about Hollywood anymore. Don't fall for big socialist titties, gentlemen. Or girls who poop on your bed. I don't care how hot you are. That's pretty much pooping is unless it's accidental or funny, on purpose. No, that's a sign of, like, I would pack her stuff up or pack my stuff. I'd be out of there within 20 minutes. Grab your cell phone, your wallet, and you're out the door. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys on the next episode.